Hey Google, what's the temperature outside?
The current temperature in Mesa is 99 degrees.
Oh, hell yeah. Good morning! What's going on, everybody? I don't know what time you're watching this, but for me it's Saturday morning-ish, and we're working on the 95 Civic Hatch. And it's gonna be a little bit spicy, not quite as spicy as probably the last video, but I'm sure this door will get opened at some point today with our new and improved cooling system. In the last video, we finished off the rear brakes. We finished off all the rear stuff. Now, one of the things that I forgot to do after torquing these is we need to stake them. So I had to bust off these the little cap, the actual hubcap. So we're gonna start staking that, and we're gonna start torquing everything on the car, just to make sure that nothing's gonna fall apart, so we can put the wheels on and set it on the ground. We'll check in after that. It's like camping, but in your own garage. Alright, so now we're completely torqued. We need to get cotter pins and castle nuts for the upper, or even though they need to be replaced really, but right now we're just gonna get it on the ground. Before we put the wheels on and put it on the ground though, I do want to do one thing, because I don't want to be bending down, and just kind of get some of the stuff in the car now while we have some height, so we can save ourselves a little bit of hassle. Alright, so we got a couple of things from ktuned. The first one is this KHP PG310. This port down here in the thermostat housing, that where the pipe that comes up and goes to the back is normally at, we now have a hole there, and that's a problem. So we need to get rid of that. That's where this comes in. It's a press fit sleeve. Comes with like a little tab that like locks it in. This is an updated version of it. So they had this before. It was a little bit different. It was just a plug that had a tab that came over. This is a little bit different because now they give you a -10 AN fitting. So if you want to return to that again and you want to use a hose instead, you can. So really nice. So this just kind of locks in like that and it holds it. Life's good. The other thing we got is, and there's not a part number on here, but it's for the back of the block where the coolant port goes. It's this port block piece, and this goes in the back of the block, that where the heater core would either return, I think it's where it returns from, returns back to the motor. So you can use this to plug. It's pretty trick. It's got the ktuned, you know, engraved. So we're gonna put this in the back of the block there as well. So we're gonna go ahead and put the plug in real quick. This is pretty straightforward operation here. That's what I was wondering if they engineered it so it won't back out. It looks like they did, thankfully. So the plate can't rotate once it's in there. Pretty clever if you ask me. Oh, my thing spun. And it bent my tab. What the? Oh, ktuned, you f***ed up. You guys f***ed up. Now you're pissing me off. You just bent the f***ing tab. I gotta hammer that f***ing flat. So you gotta tighten the plug before you put it in. But now it's all greased up and f***ing lubed up. Let's try this again. This time we're not tightening the plug with it in there. Show up the part does its job at least. Port's plugged. Now I can put everything back together, thankfully. We're gonna do we're gonna pull the rear manifold real quick so we can do that. So you have the harness kind of running through here. I wonder if we can move it actually. So I've seen some things recently that made me question otherwise. Let's do some cleanup here. things kind of spiraled out of control very quickly after we did taking the manifold off, because now is the prime opportunity to do our DEI heat sleeving. Now, the other thing we found, the manifold was not good. It only had, so there's supposed to be 3 bolts and 2 nuts. It had 2 bolts that are not flanged. We were missing stuff, and everything was loose. So that was the other half of the equation. So now we kind of have this void of space now. This goes up to the battery. This goes up to the battery. No big deal. What we have to do now is we have to get this cinched up a little higher. So when we went to Ace to go get the bolts that we needed for the manifold, we also got some stainless steel zip ties just to cinch up that cable with the oil line. So we got the manifold back on, but that's taken care of. Everything's cool. Now, if you look real closely back there, you're gonna realize that there is no bolt in that rear mount. So the bolt I have is stuffed up under the cowl here, so we're gonna slam that in and then probably make this upper hose real quick so we can fill it with water. Alright, so I've been working on this for some amount of time. The heat got to me. I can't get the bolt in on the back of the motor because the mount, when it bolts up to the transmission, skews like the mount so the bolt won't go through. And the answer is always realign the transmit, or like the mounts in the car. So I'm going to play with one more thing, and then we're going to try to do something else. But I'm going to open this garage and get the mister going because I'm dying. Alright, if you can't see, it's in. So we're all back to where we were before we got the ktuned parts, plus some. So the only thing I got to do now is we're going to replace this with our I think it's a hybrid cable. I can't remember. The only reason I really needed it or wanted it was because this clip broke on the one that I have. So we're going to replace it. Otherwise, I think it's the exact same. It looks the exact same, to be honest. Mister's working great. It's destroying that, but whatever. It's cooling me off. That's all I give a shit about right now. So let's get busy. Alright, so this is kind of, you can kind of see the difference here if we set these two on the ground. This is the one, the right one. This one right here, this side, it's the one that came out of the car. Have them up there height-wise. You see they're pretty much the same, but they're a little bit different. Like this doesn't have all the hardware in the middle. Still has this, but it's a little bit further down. Just a little. It's just generally newer. So that's got to go back in the car now. Easy peasy. Too much crap. Alright, so it's a new day. Still have the car on the jacks, which is kind of bothering me. But last night we bolts in my pocket, but I obliterated a bolt, which is the only thing stopping us right now because all that stuff's done. The steering linkage is back together. Everything's good there. But yeah, I obliterated a bolt last night, so the threads became smooth. I gotta go get a bolt, but I'm waiting on a couple of other things to happen. Like I'm waiting for packages to get delivered. Don't want to just run out and start doing stuff and then sitting out there waiting for my packages to get delivered. So to maximize our time, in theory the packages should be delivered soon. We're gonna start on a bracket for a throttle. We're totally just kidding. The packages were just delivered. So let's go get those. And a couple of other things that we need, like a knock sensor, a filler, funnel, and a bolt. Alright, so we got our packages, we got the steering linkage fixed. We're gonna put the car on wheels real quick. We're gonna cut this episode. I still have a ton of stuff to do on this thing. Radiator shroud, radiator hose, fan relay wiring, lights wiring, tires, evap hose, brake booster hose, charge pipes, seat belts, question mark. We need to tighten the brake booster. We need to look at the driver front hard brake line to see if it's leaking. The upper control arm and ball joints, throttle bracket, seats, cage, That's a big one. We need to get door panels ordered, we need to finish the gauges, we need to do the boost controller, and we have to do the exhaust. You know, I should be able to finish all that today, right? Alright, so before we close this video out, we gotta do one thing. We gotta put wheels on this thing and put it on the ground. Because that's what we've been trying to do this whole video. This is the reason why I drug on as long as it did. Let's get her done. I think it's flat, but it's not getting there. But it's good. Should I be running 15s or 16s? This is a 15 with the, what is this? A 205 50 15 Hankook tire. But I'm starting to think maybe we should go to 16. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Leave it in the comments below. Alright. She's on all fours. Damn it. Now I'm tripping over jacks. It's a problem. Yeah. Finally. Now we just need more low because that's a problem. That's later. We will address it later. It's on the ground. It is down. That being said, I gotta tighten this fuel line before I forget and I send this thing and blow everything up. And then, yeah, we will see you on the next one. So, take it easy.